Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that the futures are trading lower by just a point and a half. Each and every day we see the futures really right around this level, up a couple of points, down a couple of points. No real big moving parts these days or big swings before the opening bell. Once the market settles in and a light volume kicks in, usually the markets will float higher. Today we do have the futures down just a little bit, so we'll see how it plays out. There's going to be a host of economic news coming out. Shortly, you're going to have the February Case-Shiller Index. I also believe that's at 9 a.m. I also believe at 9:45 we'll have Chicago PMI, and then at 10 o'clock we're going to have some more economic data. I'm not exactly sure what that economic data is. But we will have more at 10 o'clock. So, again, we will have pretty good pretty fair amount of economic data being released in the first 90 minutes of the trading day. So I think traders should be aware of that. But ultimately, the market only cares about one thing, and that's will the money printing by the central bankers continue? And the answer to that question is yes, it will. So right now the market seemed to be holding steady. Last night we did have some, this morning I should say, we did have some economic news out of Europe. It looks like the news is just getting worse and worse by the minute there, but the markets really don't seem to care. You can make a case for contraction around the horn in Europe. German retail sales fell. Eurozone unemployment hit a new high. You have consumer prices. Eurozone consumer price inflation declined. So, I mean, there's a lot going on there. This Thursday, you're going to have the European Central Bank come up with their interest rate policy decision. Many people are thinking they will cut by about a quarter basis, 25 basis points or a quarter point. We'll see if that is the case. I'm not sure if that will happen. But anyway you slice it or dice it, there's just not a lot of good stuff coming out of Europe, but the markets over there are holding up fine. Today they're flat across the board. You actually have the German DAX trading up about 0.5%, but really no problems. Then across the pond in England, which can print their own money, they are not part of the Eurozone when it comes to money. They're flat today. They're only down 0.1%. So again, the market's just waiting for the U.S. market to open up. Any kind of a bounce in the U.S. markets, they'll take their cue from that, and the European markets will follow suit. Right now, you don't have any fear out here, any panic. It's all about the central bankers, and quite frankly, that's what makes money. Just got to watch the charts and go where the money flow is. Looking over at Asia, we did have the Nikkei 225 and the Shanghai. Both reopened last night. The Shanghai was down 1%. That has not had a pretty showing. That still looks pretty weak on the charts. The Nikkei 225 was only down about 0.2%. Not a big deal there. That thing is still a very, very strong index, and there's a ton of printing of Japanese yen by by the Bank of Japan, I should say. The Indian Sensex, Bombay Sensex index was up 0.6%, and then you had the Hang Seng up 0.7%. So you can't make too much out of Asia last night, but you did have the Shanghai down 1%, which is still pretty important if you ask me. The Shanghai really is a laggard. And they are not happy. China is not happy with all the printing of money that Japan is doing, and that ultimately could turn into an ugly scenario. But we'll take it on a day-by-day basis and see how this market plays out. You have some stocks in the news today. Pfizer is the big one. Pfizer missed, I believe, on revenue. They also missed on earnings per share, and the company guided down. Oh, that's not the right symbol. Let's get that one in there. And the company also came out with some ugly guidance. I have levels for Pfizer if it does fall lower. But to see a big company like this miss, it just adds more to the more companies, more multinational companies missing on the bottom line. IBM, Procter & Gamble, Amazon, Apple, FedEx, Qualcomm, Baidu, now Pfizer to the list. I mean, you could just see the diverse group there. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a transport stock, IT services company, consumer staples, internet. It really doesn't make a difference. Semiconductors, transports, and now you have a drug company. So a little strange to see, but this is the problems right now. But the market doesn't seem to care. The market will, most likely find a support level and take the stock right back up, and that's going to be our job, just to find that level to make a trade. There are some other stocks in the news today. In fact, there are quite a few, but and we'll have gaps up a little bit later. But I think Pfizer is a big one, and obviously a stronger dollar hurts all the multinationals, and that's what's happening right now. I think a stronger dollar ultimately is good, but it is hurting all the multinational stocks, but it is not hurting the major stock indexes. So I think traders should keep an eye on that. We're going to have some more gap plays. I think Nuance is another one. Nuance Communications. They make the voice recognition software for the Apple phones, and this stock's getting hammered today. You can see that big decline from $23 trading to $20.30. This one is getting just annihilated before the opening bell. We have some support levels to try to trade a bounce. I'll post those up in the chat room around 9 o'clock. So there are quite a few names out here. Earnings season is starting to wind down with the big names, but you'll still have a lot of the big companies still reporting. Herbalife reported earnings also. They upped their guidance as well. Stock is trading up a little bit. This is war of the whales between Bill Ackman and Carl Icahn. Ackman is is anti Herbalife, and it looks like Icahn is pro Herbalife. And right now, you got to give a point to Icahn this morning. That is holding up, but has very good resistance around the $41 level. So traders should watch for that if it does happen to get up there. I'm not sure it will make it. Let's take a look at gold this morning. Gold this morning is trading higher by $3 to $14.70 an ounce. Gold has had quite a snapback recently after that big Goldman Sachs flush. Somebody knew about that. That was pretty calculated. But gold has really come back with a vengeance since that time. This morning the GLD is trading around 142.06. It closed around 142.30, so just a little bit lower than where it closed. Again, it's had a big rebound into some resistance on the daily chart, so we'll see how that shakes out going forward. Looking at light sweet crude today, oil is down 60 cents. So light sweet crude is down about 60 cents to 93.92 a barrel. If you take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for oil, you'll see that that's trading at 33.47. Down from yesterday's close, which was 33.61. So again, we'll watch the dollar today. That will tell us a lot. Today the dollar is really flat, not doing all that much, so shouldn't really have that much of a bearing on oil. But I think if oil does start to sell off, it's a sign of an economic slowdown taking place in the market. So traders should be aware of that. All right, everybody. With that said, we'll keep it short and sweet today. Have a great trading day. Again, we should have quite a few setups in the morning as far as gaps are concerned, so come over to the chat room. That'll be posted around 9 o'clock a.m. for everybody. All right, with that said, have a great trading day. We'll see you on the charts.